Welcome to Zion Testify. Here, you can read transcribed testimonies from Zion Ministry in Lagos.
Zion,
We move.
Zion.
We move.
My name is Chima Patrick. I'm a native of Abia State, Ohafia local government, to be precise. I am here to testify to the goodness of God upon my life and my family. I got to know about Zion last year through my wife. But then, when my wife was telling me about Zion, I wasn't serious about the whole thing because I actually don't believe in all these miracles and all these things. Because I believe I just want to see something right now and get the thing right away. So, when my wife was preaching about Zion to me, I keep telling her to forget about all these things. But to cut the long story short, around July last year, first week of August, I lost a whole lot of things. I lost money, I lost job, I lost friends, I even lost shelter. So I decided to find my way to Zion to come and see what my wife has been telling me about. So by the time I came, I enjoyed what I was seeing here, and I committed myself to Zion. So, though my motive of coming to Zion was to see the man of God, but I never knew it wasn't so easy like that. But then I pinched my tent here and vowed that I would definitely see this man of God before I leave this place. So it took me 3 months and 2 weeks to see the man of God. But finally, I met him one-on-one in his office with my wife. And when I saw him, the only thing the man of God just told me was, I should open my hands. So by the time I opened my hands, he told me everything I needed to know concerning myself. And there are 3 things he said to me. He said, you are a bright human being. You are very intelligent, but you don't use that brightness well. Then he also said to me, 2 people are in my case that they don't really want me to move forward. That though one is late, but the second one is actually alive. But then he's going to give me some prayers to do, and I should do it very well. I said, okay. But while he was telling me all those things, he was looking into my eyes, and as if he knew I wouldn't do those prayers. But then he gave me the prayers, and I left. Unfortunately, my wife was doing the prayer, but I myself, I wasn't doing it. So things started becoming worse for me. I later found myself engaging in fraud, duping a whole lot of financial institutions just to live a life. But at a point, I felt it's time I had to change. So I was sitting down this side one day. I was listening to one of Daddy's preaching where he was talking about those doing fraud and how they will end up. So that very day, I decided to quit anything fraud. And even when I quit, I made so many enemies with the people I was doing it with. But then I said I will still stand to my decision. So luckily for me, I got a job as a platter of gold, a job I never deserved. And my wife was telling me to go. I told her, no, I don't want to, because the last place I worked here in Nigeria, what they were paying me, I was telling my wife, no company can pay me such amount of money. My wife said I should give this a trial. I said, okay. I went for the interview, and lo and behold, I was employed as the head of risk in that company. And under 10 days, I was given an automatic promotion as also the head of auditor and also head of risk. So I was superseding the 2 departments. But that was not the testimony, though. Last month, I went to work. As I was having a meeting with my departmental people, after having the meeting, I was supposed to have a management meeting with the GMD, MD, and some heads of departments. So while we were waiting for the GMD to round up what he was doing, all of a sudden, I was talking to one of the HR staff. Then 3 people came into the office and asked me that I'm under arrest. I was like, what is going on? How? They brought out an arrest warrant. They showed me. I saw my name, and I was asked to move with them. So I moved with them, and they took me. I was expecting them to take me to a police station. Rather, they took me to court. So when they took me to court, I was asked to be reprimanded at Kirikiri. I went to Kirikiri. They brought me back to court the next day, and they passed a judgment that I should be reprimanded at Kirikiri till September 14th. So I was like, God, what is really happening? Is it when I decided to change that all these things are happening to me? But then I said, God, let your will be done. So while in Kirikiri, I was praying for God's mercy. My wife was running helter-skelter to see how she can bail me out so that I can resume back my work. But lo and behold, I was bailed out from Kirikiri, and I went back to work the next day, and I was sacked. So I was like, God, what is this? A job I got under 1 month, and I got sacked. So I left the office, I came down to Zion here, I prayed, I asked God for mercy, that I am really sorry for everything I have done, but let your will be done. So I went home, I told my wife that, see, I've been sacked from job. Immediately I told my wife, she fainted. I had to revive her. So I told her that, don't worry, God is in control. She was crying, she was asking me, how can we pay all the debts we have owed and all of that. I told her not to worry, that God is in control. So last week, Sunday, I came to church. I was at the overflow. I was praying that God should allow the man of God to locate me. So when the man of God was doing ministration, he came to the overflow. Though he did not locate me, but he touched me. So maybe he touched me, I was so happy. I came inside there, I prayed, and said, God, as man of God has touched me, let there be a turnaround in my life. I went home. There was a liberation candle a brother gave me. So this brother asked me to pray with that candle. So that night I slept. Then I had a dream. So in that dream, I saw someone I used to call a mom fighting me in that dream. At first, I never wanted to fight back. But when I discovered that this whole thing is too much, I had to fight her back. So we were fighting in that dream. And I later discovered that where I was standing was on top of an ocean. So she pushed me into the water. She also fell into the water with me. And we found ourselves in another place, like a big shrine. So she was running. I was chasing after her. While she was running, I discovered that as I was running with her, I saw a whole lot of pictures of me in that shrine. Even the one I took when I was a baby, the one my mom took, snapped me, and the ones I took to the last day of the day I sold my phone. So when I saw those things, I fought the woman, and I was able to defeat her. So on that process, my wife woke me up, and she was asking me what was happening. I told her I had a dream that see. She now told me, okay, that candle this brother gave me, I should write that woman's name on that candle. I wrote her name, and I brought it here. I prayed. So immediately I prayed. I went outside there. I saw one guy that does POS. I asked him if he can help me with his phone. I need to make a call. I want to call my dad, because over 2 months, I've never spoken to my dad. So when I called my dad told me that he just got a news now that so-so person is dead. It was also the same woman I fought in that dream. I was like, how? He said she slept and she did not wake up again. I was like, thank God. So I now decided to go back to my office. At least I've worked for a month. Let them pay me my salary. So by the time I go there, I came back. My wife told me that one of the HR called her, that they want to speak with me. My wife told them that I'm not around. Then they said, okay, in case I call back, then I should call them. I came back home, I called the HR, and the HR told me that the management had a meeting, that though the GMD went for vacation, and he said they should call me back for my job. That though before I will resume back, I should go back to that company I had the issue with in 2018, that I should resolve the issue with them, all the money they allocated that I am owing them, that the present company will pay it off, so that there will be no issue of me going to court and all of that. Then I should resume back my work. So I'm standing here to thank God for his mercy and for turning my life around, and also thanking my wife for showing me the brighter side of life, and also thanking the man of God who has shown me the reason why I should be a true Christian. Thank you.
For more testimonies like this, subscribe to our channel and visit www.zentestify.com.